At the UN Climate Change Conference or COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, Filipino youth delegates take part in calling for climate justice and higher climate finance goals to help developing countries deal with climate change. As the Philippines is one of the most affected by climate change, Action Klima Pilipinas National Coordinator John Leo Algo says young Filipinos present at COP29 have one simple call.
We want to see climate justice reflected in higher financing, especially the NCQG. We want to see climate justice be reflected as well in more urgent provision of means of implementation, for example, for the Philippines.
Joel Chester Pagulayan, a young climate justice advocate from Oxfam Pilipinas, calls for accountability, specifically financial reparations from developed countries to developing countries like the Philippines.
Someone clearly has to pay. Rich countries owe the world, specifically the global south, at least $5 trillion per year in climate debt and reparations.
Throughout the two-week climate summit, Filipino youth delegates join side events to actively engage in different climate issues such as indigenous peoples' rights, farmers' rights, mitigation, adaptation, climate finance, and loss and damage. They also take part in various demonstrations inside the venue to amplify action. The youth delegates also participate in informal dialogues with the Philippine government and bilateral meetings with the members of the House Committee on Climate Change present in Baku.
Kaya napakahalaga ng boses ng mga kabataan Pilipino dito sa COP29. Nakakabuhay ng dugo, nakakatuwa na makita yung mga kababayan mo na nandito. No? Hindi mo sila kasabay pumunta dito pero nakikita kayo rito. Tapos iisa yung panawagan natin.
For climate activist Rafael Abacan, young people have a unique voice in these climate talks.
Para sa akin, ang kabataan ay ang konsensya ng kinabukasan. Ang konsensya dapat ng gobyerno. Silang tagapagmana ng mundo. At hindi lang tagapagmana, silang namumuhay ngayon sa sitwasyon ng krisis sa klima na ramdam natin.
During the first week of COP29, the Philippines National Youth Commission adopted the Philippine Youth Statement on Climate Change 2024. The statement calls for transitioning away from fossil fuels, climate adaptation, resilience strategies implementation, and improving the management of energy, transport, and waste energy systems in the country. The statement was submitted to one of the Filipino negotiators at COP29, Environment Undersecretary Annalisa Revueltite. At the closing plenary of COP29, nations adopt a new collective quantified goal of $300 billion by 2035, falling short of the $1.3 trillion demanded by the Global South. Despite this, the young Filipinos at COP say they will continue to demand urgent action from global leaders to address climate change and the harrowing scale of its impacts.
Ang kinabukasan natin ay nakasalalay sa kabataan at hindi lang sa kabataan, sa buong Global South, sa lahat ng sektor ng masa na lumaban, paglaban ng ating karapatan na mabuhay sa mundo na to.
COP29 may have ended, but their fight for climate justice continues. Edmar de los Santos, Rappler, Baku, Azerbaijan.